is we've never had one in this county of this many deaths at one scene.
Right now on the afternoon edition, officials in San Mateo County laying out the long road to figure out how and why the man accused of killing 7 carried out his plan. And investigators in just the last few hours released brand new details. The sheriff's office says this was likely a case of workplace violence. Investigators say the suspect worked at one of the mushroom farms that was the scene of the first shooting. They say Chunli Zhao was not on their radar, and there was no reason to believe the suspect was capable of carrying out these killings. Good afternoon, I'm Elizabeth Cook. This just one of several tragedies over the past few days as communities here in the Bay Area and all of California for that matter grapple with the lives ripped away from the world. The tragic scenes playing out across the state just in the last 72 hours. 7 people killed, 1 hurt in Half Moon Bay. Last night in Oakland, 1 person was killed and 7 more were injured. In Southern California, the community there is still reeling after 11 lives were lost in Monterey Park. Yesterday's shootings took place at a pair of mushroom farms just a few miles apart from each other in Half Moon Bay. Our Jocelyn Moran is live from the first shooting location on San Mateo Road. Now, Jocelyn, we just heard from authorities, and although the identities have not been released yet of the victims, we're learning more about them. Jocelyn?
Yeah, exactly. And, we learned that of the victims, there are 7 male victims, 1 female. Now, we don't know which one is in the hospital. We know one of them is at Stanford Medical Center. We don't know if that one is male or a female, but we are getting more information here. We know one of them, like we mentioned, is at Stanford Medical Center. We know the suspect did purchase the gun legally, and San Mateo County Sheriff Christina Corpus did not yet provide identities of the victims. But take a listen as to what she had to say.
Only known connection between the victims and the suspect is that they may have been co-workers. The coroner's office is still working on identification of the victims and notifications of next of kin.
All right, and we did see today that there are families still looking for answers. We were actually at the substation, the sheriff's substation here in Half Moon Bay, when we noticed a man actually went up to the station looking for answers. We spoke with him afterwards, and he tells us that his ex-wife worked at Concord Farms and that the last he's actually heard from her was at about 3:50 p.m. yesterday. She called him saying, please pick up the kids. Didn't give many answers to the questions he had. He said that she sounded frantic. So he picked up the kids after school. He found out about the shooting that had occurred at those 2 locations, and he has been trying to get a hold of her. Unfortunately, he has not been able to get a hold of her, and he is still looking for answers.
Y hasta ahorita tengo cero información. No he sabido nada y la verdad, pues mis hijos preguntan qué está pasando, papá, por qué mamá no, pues no sé, déjenme, permítanme, vayan a la escuela, yo voy a ver qué me pueden decir en la comandancia.
Yeah, he said that his kids are asking for his mom. He also, told us just how frustrating it is not being able to get answers for a loved one. He also did tell us about the farm worker community here. He said it's very close-knit. Everybody knows each other by face. He was telling me you may not know them personally, but you know them by face. And so he very much told us he is very shaken up by this. And really, Liz, he just wants answers about his ex-wife because his kids are asking about his mom.
Understandably so. Just absolutely agonizing for these families of the people that work there and the victims' families, of course. Jocelyn, you've been there all morning. What's the sense you're getting about the impact this tragic violence has had on the people who live in Half Moon Bay, on the residents there?
Yeah, just speaking with Federico, we had about a 10-minute conversation with him before he headed out to try to find some more answers. And he was really telling us that his kids are shaken up after school. His kids were telling him that they were at the library, but they needed to be picked up because they were telling him they were hearing gunshots. And so visibly, he was shaken up, and he was telling us that the people around him are shaken up by this tragedy, Liz.
Yeah, I can only imagine. All right, Jocelyn, thank you so much.